it was said that Zuckerberg, he said that Musk tried to introduce him to Epstein personally. This is an Epstein shot. So Epstein took this picture apparently of that dinner at Palo Alto that happened. Peter Thiel is here as well, just to let everybody know.
Is
Again,
Thiel?
Thiel, whatever. He's there.
What about
I've
that
been
chick,
reporting on
Thiel
it
Swan?
forever. And now, so on the 10th, again, Musk is acting like he's innocent and attacking Bannon. Okay.
Yeah, Bannon is evil. He's right.
I agree, but he's acting like he's exonerated in these files. Reid Hoffman.
Musk has at least two personalities, probably more though. Do you know how the programming works? They break the kid young, and somebody as important as Musk is to be the front-facing figurehead who's not really in charge of who's the front. He's going to have a few. He's going to have a beta program. He's going to have an omega program if he ever remembers what happened to him. And the omega program is where you commit slip and slide.
In this video, I'm highlighting when Kurt Metzger and Jason Burmis are going deep through the files and they get to this stuff about Elon Musk and ancient magic. I feel like a broken record about this point specifically, but this multiple personality trauma programming stuff is best explained in Kathy O'Brien's book, Transformation of America, where the first 2 chapters will give you a real solid picture of how it tends to work for those who maybe are not groomed for front-facing power particularly, but suffer the same sort of mental breakage to achieve the same sort of mental compartmentalization effect.
So again, to try to show you how important and integrate all these people are in the files.
I'm sure Musk doesn't even know. Dude, I'm telling you, they have forward-facing personalities. And the great Matt Taibbi said on Jimmy's show when he came on, it haunted me because he goes, I don't know, it was weird. It was like Musk, almost like a completely different guy suddenly. Like it was weird. Like he didn't want to put his finger on it. And I didn't know what he meant, but I know what he means now because I know about Elon Musk and I know about the TechNate and the Greater America Project that, so this goes back to, remember how they went to South Africa because wherever they were wasn't racist enough or some shit? And the space program, that's where all these Germans and, he's named Oak Tree and there's that book. And I don't think, again, how are they predictive programming? These very rich people that are occultists, and Elon Musk is an emerald. He runs an emerald mine or something. Was his big fortune? So he did something bad. Okay. They all use astrology. They don't use the dipshit astrology a dumb girl uses. Okay, like dippy new age chicks. Some of whom are dear friends. They don't use that. They use the kind.
Some of whom are dear friends.
A hidden astrology sign. They're using a whole different time scale than they give you. And what they do is, it's not that it has to be a certain person, but they can tell. To them, it's a statistical science. There's thousands of years of Egyptian, Babylonian, whatever doing it.
This rings interesting to me because it would make sense to me if there were more to astrology or even a missing side of information to astronomy that has been hidden from the masses with this lesser generic white chick form. It wouldn't be that crazy different from obscuring and classifying science for 80 or more years, much of which we're still yet to see in a world with too much information everywhere, always, all the time, making it so now you have to want to see it. It's just interesting to think about.
And so, forget about the stupid kind they tell you, just like manifesting is stupid. These are based on real things, but you don't get to So anyway, sir, the statue to him in Denmark or Norway, Y-Files, I was trying to explain this to Gino, Y-Files did a story about it. He came out, he'd been kept in a crawl space till he was 17 because someone read his charts and knew he was going to fuck something up for him, one of these gross families. And he comes wandering out. He goes, I'm a nobleman and my name's Casper Hauser. And to this day, we don't know if he was telling the truth, but they did build a big statue of him. So he was. I mean, come on. Hey, the story of baby Jesus, the 3 magi. That's Persian wizards. That's what a magi is. King Herod knew a Messiah was going to be born. King Herod, his family, the puppet state of Rome, which they're dark Babylonian black magicians.
Yes, you're talking
Herod
about.
They're all into Babylonian sigil magic. If you're wondering what that is, you know how the Nike swoosh is a really sticky brand logo? That's called sigil magic. All the things that you think are normal things like advertising and branding and all that.
He's kind of going quick stream of consciousness here, so I wish he didn't cap the list at all that so quickly, but it's becoming ever so increasingly evident to me that this statement of everything we've come into this world and lived our lives thinking is completely normal are not, and that the concepts and situations are indeed ideas originating from some occult belief or ancient magic. it's all become so normal. I think it's a natural first reaction to the introduction of the idea of any of it coming from where it does to be smug and dismissive, and I can't blame anyone for it. I just know acknowledging a problem is the first step to finding a solution, and we've got a ways to go.
And it used to, people go, "What? You are a brand," and I would go get offended. Okay, the brand is a sigil. Those are sigils. That's magic shit. Edward, you'd heard of Bernays. If you're a secular materialist that doesn't accept the idea of the supernatural, which is a stupid word, you at least understand psychology. So all the Sigmund Freud is a guy. All his psychology is to gaslight rich generational incest victims. That's his whole thing. The Kinsey scale. I know you know about this. They would quote that like that's a valid thing, and that guy was a depraved piece of shit that should have been put in a wood chipper. If you go back and look, so it's been in front of you the whole time, but because it's mundane, you don't notice. I was born with this shit being normal, weren't you? Yeah, of course.
So I got something here that is just, you got to get your hands on this. It's pretty beat up. One of my old dogs got at it. I actually took the cover off it, so it's not there.
What is it?
It is. Kurt needs this one, guys. Codex Magica.
Oh, by Jim Mars.
No, this is Tex Mars.
I mean, sorry, Tex Mars.
Yes. So
wait, who's Tex Mars?
This is a really interesting looking book that I might get into later on. I just got my copy of Changing Images of Man, and another book I'm going to have to think of a gentler way to introduce to YouTube because it's kind of old and the title would be considered pretty wild now. But even seeing this is just another example of how much information we are not privy to because the method of media consumption is no longer the same, and the crowd reading books aren't typically the same crowd that's good at social media or getting reach with these things that could be considered fringe to AI censors or even human moderation. But let's keep going.
Forgot that I thought they're the same guy this whole time by mistake.
No, they're not. But like
Jim Tex Mars.
This is your book, bro. This is you want to talk about the magic and the encoding and the Babylonians and Herod and all of it.
By the way, you know how Rasputin was curing that kid's hemophilia? Would he show up? Do you know how?
I do not.
Well, he'd speak to him nicely, and the doctors had been giving the kid aspirin, which was thinning his blood, making him bleed more. So just the simple fact of him calming the child down, his blood pressure would lower, so he'd stop spurting blood out of his body like the vampire he was. And by virtue of not getting the big pharma cure of the time, just because they got this kook, it kept them from giving him the poison of aspirin that was making him bleed. That's how.
The poison of aspirin. So
I think that's a good story to think about with all these things, because a lot of things look like magic, and it was just not doing the thing that a darker magician wanted, such as big pharma.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you look at the cover of this, if you noticed the big pharma symbol.
Eating his own ass. That's what America is, yes.
This is a weird Ouroboros, or however you say it. Like he's mentioning, it kind of looks like a fox and has legs, but it does look more like a Chinese dragon than a snake. He brings up Abraxas, who is generally depicted as having serpents for legs, but I didn't see anything fox-looking or related upon searching, so I'm a little lost as to why. But what was just mentioned right before this, with the kid who just needed to be talked to kindly and not be given aspirin to stop bleeding? Man, isn't it wild that it takes someone labeled a kook to be thoughtful and kind? I think that alone says a lot about where we are today and who holds power.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, the big pharma eat, the snake eat, that's the cover of this book. You can get it for $44.95. I can't believe this is 20 years old now. Damn.
Oh, it's got little legs and a fox, a dog head. What is it with, what? It's like a Chinese dragon with the lion. You know that Chinese dragon with the doggy looking lion head that looks like Abraxas's leg that they say is a body of the snake and the head of a lion, and that's the real. I mean, what absolute.
Yeah, you honed in on it, bro.
No, well, Tracy Twyman did, and Gary Wayne, who I had on. Now, Gary Wayne and Tracy Twyman both have different information, but a lot of this is yes and not either or.
Okay.
So, for example, Baphomet, meaning son of Meat, which Tracy Twyman, Mete, the mother of heaven, and Kaibel, which is the patron fat cat lady of the trans movement, by the way. Irenaeus, I think, writes about it. It's really funny. It sounds like, I just imagine him going, "It's ma'am." That's what was going on. But also, Gary Wayne said Mithra. And Mithras in Rome is not the same as Mitra, the Persian god. Mithras in Rome is kind of a watered down Madame Blavatsky-ized version of Mitra for Rome, to make a Freemasonic secret society, which is what the army military was all in. And Constantine took and I didn't know that this already been done in Persia. He already saw what the Persians had done, absorbing this religion that was a problem for them. I forget if it was Zoroastrianism or the other one, Mithraism, I forget, but it absorbed it. It appropriated. So Constantine did that. His military, who are all in this thing very much like Scientology or Freemasonry or a cult that drinks kids, they're all in this initiatory society. And he combined it with Christianity. And it worked.
This strikes me as a very important note to take down mentally. When Kurt is going off about Mormonism or whatever religion and calling it a coven and trying to tell people it's in another situation of circles within circles and rules for thee and not for me type of cults using the good of their religion and the good people it attracts as a shield and diversion away from the real purpose, which is typically amassing and positioning themselves for power. Yeah, it's a big one.
It had already been done. It wasn't an experiment or a genius move. He already saw another culture do it. The leaders talk about this stuff dispassionately. They don't believe in shit except power. So they're going to use anything you believe in. So the only way that you're stupid, I would say, is if you refuse to understand that. Michael Parente had that great quote about, if you talk about, oh, the farmers are going to form a union or everybody gets their head around, oh, the mafia is controlling the thing. That conspiracy, you get your head around that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you get to the high levels of power, suddenly no one's in charge. It's just a force of nature. Fate. Oh, that couldn't be that anyone's actually controlling anything as much as poor people do when they do conspiracies. There's no way the rich people are doing this. They're just there to help us in that's the moronic thing that you're taught here in America and most of the world, really.
And Parente just died. I interviewed him like 15 years ago, maybe
This
20.
quote's great because I can't stand that thing where people cop out and pretend conspiracies only exist on a street level.
Thanks for watching and thanks for making it to the end of the video. I have a Patreon and a website in the description where you can support this channel. I'll also put a link in the comments with a new channel that has a video about UFO and alien stuff that uses more than just clips from Kurt Metzger. You can check it out. And I hope y'all have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.